Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the HerStory Online Summit. This is Gertrude Matcha here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And as you know, every day we have been bringing you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. Today, I have a very, very special guest. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please introduce yourself. Tell everybody where you are, your full name, and share your amazing story with us today. We really want to hear about you.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much, Gertrude, for having me on this summit. This is a pleasure. My name is Amandine. I am a sound healer, a meditation teacher, a Reiki master, and a wellness coach. And I use all of these modalities to help busy professional tune out, release the stress, and create a life that they truly resonate with their authentic self. Before we talk about, what is bringing me here, I wanted to start things a little differently, if that's okay, and invite everyone to begin by centering ourselves and really anchor ourselves in the present moment. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out slowly through the mouth. Let the sound of the bowl bring you stillness. Take deep breaths in, breathe in that sound, and breathe out what is not serving you right now. Breathe out the past, for it's not here. Breathe out the future, for it has yet to happen. And just breathe in the sound. Breathe in the peace the sound brings. This kind of peaceful moment we often overlook, but it holds so much power, right? Practices like mindfulness, sound healing, meditation, or for a long time, practices that were overlooked by mainstream society, that were treated as alternatives or the thing that those monks in the caves do, like niche solution, nothing worth really spending a lot of time on. But lately, and thankfully, we are seeing a global wellness shift where those holistic practices are finally getting the attention that they deserve, right? And why? Because our world needs healing. I don't need to teach you that in our modern societies, we have an exponential rate of people dealing with loneliness, depression, disconnection, difficulty sleeping, stress, and so many things that little moments of stillness, a little moment of reconnecting with ourselves and with our inner peace can really help soften and alleviate. And sometimes, definitely, those moments help tune out the noise of our overwhelming lives. Moments of peace where we connect with ourselves, They help us tune out the noise of self-doubt. You know, that voice, you're not good enough, it's not going to work, that voice of fear, but also the external pressures that we can face in our day-to-day. There is a lot, within and out of ourselves that can come and sabotage our wellness. And so it is so important for us to counter our environments, counter that voice, and play around with those different holistic practices. Because when we start to hear ourselves, when we not just pay attention to our ego, but also to our soul, sorry, and our bodies, we're hearing the deeper message that our whole being wants to share with us. And when we're paying attention to those different parts of us, that is when transformation really happens. I was not always the way you're seeing me today, standing in front of you, confident, running my own business. For a very long time, too long, if you ask me, I let self-doubt run my life. And I am not even, kidding with that. I don't know if it was because I didn't feel worthy of my dreams or if there was another reason, but I gave too often my power away to other people. I would wait for other people's judgment or reaction or suggestions before I would listen to my own heart. Does it resonate with you? I maybe convinced myself that I wasn't ready, or definitely that I was not good enough. It was not the right time. That probably that I wasn't worthy of success. And as a result, I didn't have a clear vision of what I wanted. I studied the things that I was told to study to have a good job. I went on to take jobs because somebody had told me, hey, you can have this job, not because it resonated with me, but because it was there. And the consequence of that is that those situation that I put myself in, or even the relationships that I put myself in, were not providing me with happiness. Something was definitely missing within. I I remember one of my first jobs thinking for years that Monday was my least favorite day of the week. And Friday was one of my favorite days of the week. But a part of me was like, this is not right. Your time is too precious to allow yourself to be in a situation where you only enjoy Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, it has to be a better way than dimming your light 5 days a week and breathe 2 out of the week. So I continued my path. The one thing that was really helpful for me is that since my early age, I believed in something greater than me. You can call it God, call it the universe, call it the divine, whatever is the word that works for you. I had a feeling there was something out there, which was very weird for the kid of an atheist household. But having that conviction and having nurtured it through my life, I knew something better would happen down the line. I had faith that things could get better somehow. And I started to also, I remember, if you've watched The Office, remember thinking that if Michael Scott, the CEO of the paper company, as stupid as he was, could be the boss of a fairly decently running company, I had what it would take for me to do something that really truly resonated with me. And so I started to create my own opportunities. I remember I was in Paris, in France, and I started to create multiple companies. One of them, the most important one, was my communication agency that I built with my best friend. And sadly, in 2014, after 2 years of really hard work and doing everything that I thought I should be doing, our company came to a close. The thing that I realize now is that back then, I was not realizing, even if I was pushing myself to manifest something better for me, I had not dealt, I had not listened with those deep rooted issues of self worth, that I had to deal with. And therefore, I was doing a lot. I was spending a lot of energy building my company, but I was not doing things in a way that would make the company successful because I had those barriers with me that I was refusing to listen to. I was not in tune with the rest of my being, and I was not willing to heal. I didn't have a time. I had to build my business. So when it came crushing down, it left me with, well, I lost my relationship with my best friend. I lost the baby that we were trying to create for the past 2 years. I lost my health. I was in a very depressive state, and I had a burnout, which left me to have no short-term memories for about 2 months. It was really bad. I completely shut myself from the world. The only people that I would interact with were my Airbnb guests. I had a 170 square foot apartment, and in that place I would host people so I could pay back the loan that we took for our business, so I could pay my rent and all of these things. And through those people that I hosted, the universe told me, yes, you were right to have faith. Here is what I have in store for you. One of my guests kind of pushed me. It was like, thank you for the lodging, but really, you have an American green card. You can live and work in the US, and you're living in this tiny thing. You got to get out. And he really kicked me. And I was like, realizing, thanks to him, that it's true that I was closing myself in this tiny environment, even though I had access to much bigger, to much greater. And it was time for me to break that tiny box that I had built for myself and try something different. When I did take the decision to finally move on and go to the US, well, guess what? I hosted from someone from the US, from a place called Portland in Oregon, which is in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And from there, it's like, because I had taken that step for myself, that I was finally starting to listen to myself and the universe, not what other people were saying, even though I hear what you're thinking right now. All of a sudden, the universe opened its doors. It was like a highway. Things became flawless. I was able, within only a month, to sell everything that I had, generate enough money so that I would have a little bit to kickstart my time in the US. And I arrived. I find longtime friends. I mean, just so many little elements that just made me feel, okay, I'm in the right energy. I'm in the right environment. And from there, I started to work. I started to receive opportunities and work in high level position that was really going with my heart. And at the time, it was the climate, and doing something that I was passionate about in a field that I had studied for really helped me build my self-confidence and realize that I was worthy to have a good, solid job. I was worthy of my dreams. And so I kept doing that work, right? Because it was so fulfilling. But at the same time, like a lot of really good and worth doing jobs, it was depleting. It was depleting to see everyday news about the shape of the planet and seeing how hard it was to pass legislations on the other end. And that situation led me heartbroken too many times. It was really taking a toll on my physical and mental health. And at that time, I knew I did not want to quit. I listened to my body and I was like, no, you need to find ways to continue this work until it comes to an end, until you pass the legislations. And in that situation, I discovered that meditation, energy healing, and music were really my keys to rebuilding myself to heal and continue the work that I was doing. When my mission came to an end in 2020, a day before the pandemic, I, like a lot of people, I was with a lot of time on my hands, right? And but also as much hardship as Pandemic brought on all of us. It also brought us new opportunities to be online and learn online. And that's exactly what I did. I learned to become a yoga teacher and a meditation teacher. And then from then on, doing my meditation practice every day to become a teacher really allowed me to learn how to truly listen to my body, how to truly listen to myself, and understand that the emotions, that voice that was always telling me that I was not good enough, those things were a part of me. So if I didn't want to hear that voice anymore, I had to pay attention to it, thank it for its message, but remind it that it is just a part of me. It's a tool that if I let it run wild, can destroy me. But if I put it back in the back seat and just allow it to speak to me when it's needed, but then take the whole of me, my soul, my body, and my mind into account, that everything could come into place. Everything started to become much more clearer. And at that realization was kind of like a shift for me. At that moment, I started to really understand who I am as a soul, as a human being, and the power that we hold actually when we start to want to act on ourselves. Once I accepted that I was ready and that I needed to share that message with other people who had struggled like me, I began to build a business around all of those healing modalities. I realized that everything was, or that I needed to start my business was already inside of me. And I just needed to give myself the push to just get there. I didn't know exactly where I was going, but I knew it was in the right place. I knew that it was through those tools that I wanted to help. And so from there, I continued my study. I studied to become a sound healer, and I realized that yes, what was truly part of me was my deep spirituality, the energy healing world that had been so helpful to me my whole life, and music that had been such a powerful way for me to channel my emotions where I was in the most overwhelming states. And so, with all of that in mind, I started my business. And I started small, of course, going where people were. I started to engage with others to really understand what other people's pain point were. And from there, I created courses and meditation content that would actually help those people. I also started to partner up with people. I was no longer ashamed. I was no longer afraid. I was wanting to connect with other like-minded people. And from there, a beautiful snowball of energy, of empowerment, and of manifesting what I truly wanted started to happen. I'm realizing that I'm way past my time. So I will finish by saying that the the beauty that I want, if you there is something that you can take away from my experience, is that you don't need, if you're starting to try to start a business, if you're just realizing you like what you're doing but something does not feel right, it's time that you tune out that voice. It's time that you listen to your body and you listen to your soul. And for that, there are tools through mindfulness, through meditation, through sound healing, so many other modalities, and I would love to teach you about it. So if you have questions on it, if you want to learn more about how to reconnect with yourself or how to launch a business, knowing that you're aligned with your purpose, then feel free to come talk with me and I will teach you everything I know.
Wow. Your story is music to my ears. I am personally on this journey of reinventing myself, starting a new business. And what I'm hearing is the power of manifestation. A lot of times we don't realize that the things that you are looking for will show up once you are ready, once you've decided you're going to do it, and you fall into alignment with that vision.
Yes.
Now, as a wellness coach, how do you help busy professionals reconnect with their authentic selves amidst all of the hectic schedules and work?
Well, there is multiple ways, but one way that I really, try to do is acknowledge that we all have very busy lives, and we don't have an hour or 2 hours, half the day to do a meditation practice. So I've really tried to create situation where within 10, 15, or 20 minutes, people can use different tools like breath work, mindfulness exercises, meditation exercises, and sound. I we did in the beginning. When you breathe in, or you put stillness into your mind, but you use also the entertainment of sound healing, it really helps soothe the process. And because of, I will not, bother you with all the details of, vibration healing, but because of the vibration that come out of the bowls, there is a deeper and extra layer of healing and of peace that really get infused into your whole body, so that accelerate the process that you're doing. And then it's about, so it's not about the length, but it's about consistency.
Hmm.
And you can do it
So
once a
let's
day, but you can do it, 2 or 3 times a week, whatever works for you. But just showing up for yourself by increments of a few minutes here and there can really go a long way. And that's how usually I help busy professional get started in that process.
let's delve a little bit into sound healing. What role does sound healing play in reducing stress? And how do you see it complementing other healing modalities like meditation and Reiki?
So that's a very interesting question. Thank you for asking it. So the way the vibration work, you have to understand that at a quantum level, at the base of the structure of our universe, where everything is nothing but vibration and energy. Once
Mm,
we understand that what this brings is vibration. And so the vibrations, the bowls and tuning forks and all the kind of tools that we use in sound healing, they send a healthy vibration. And when we are imbalanced, um, and our body hears that healthy vibration, it sends a
mm.
signal to that unhealthy part of ourself. This is how you are supposed to vibrate. And it will have a tendency to try to mimic that vibration until that part of us is again healthy. So when you couple it with um, visualization, yoga nidra, or visualization exercises, you set an intention, and you also use breath exercises to calm yourself. When you bring those two modalities together, they really work together a lot, like I was saying earlier, a lot faster in
Yes.
bringing a whole being in a deep state of peace. And it's in deep state of peace, basically, that our ego shuts off. And when our ego shuts off, it allows our body to do what it does best: regenerate.
Yeah, we do have the ability to self heal, but a lot of times we're running around, we're not still enough to allow our bodies to do that for us.
Hmm.
Now, you mentioned helping individuals tune out and create a life they resonate with. What are the steps to this transformation? What are the key steps?
So, well, for instance, I've created actually a course, 10-day journey through each chakras. And I really enjoy working on the chakras because it's becoming something a little more popular. People understand, that word. It's not as something out there as it used to be a few years ago. But so we work on first releasing blockages. And it's impressive. When we work on chakras, we basically work on areas of our lives through those important energy centers. And so we go into each of those places. For instance, our heart is right here. And when our heart chakra is imbalanced, what happens is that we can have lung issues, we can have heart issues, we can have issues in our arms. But it also can show up in a different part of our lives. The heart chakra is connected to our relationship with others, to our relationship to ourselves, our ability to love. And we quickly, I've been doing that work long enough that I've seen so many people when their heart chakra is closed, I will ask them, do you have issues breathing? Do you have, and that might not be exactly what they have, but one
Yeah.
of the issues that they have is going to be related to that part of their body. And then you
Yes.
continue to ask, do you have problems, with like relationships? Yes, I haven't, I had a bad relationship once with someone. I've shut myself, and it's interesting how everything kind of is connected within. And so when you go deep through sound, through meditation, and through all of those different stages, like I do in my class, it really helps people acknowledge first, listen to their body. They learn
Mm.
how to listen. They will feel it in their body. We learn, use simple exercises to allow them through saying it, through affirmation, through breath, through many different modalities to release that part, but then acknowledge that, okay, now we've created some space, and we know that in the world, the universe doesn't like empty space. So it's important to feel that space now that we have, we released something dark, something weighing us down. It's important to feel it with the power of our intention and the power of visualization. What do you want in your life? What makes you feel good? So we go on those journeys where they can visualize themselves doing something that actually is making them truly happy. And since they are in that deep state of relaxation, it's not the mind talking, but it's the whole being.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what challenges do you encounter when introducing your clients to these holistic practices? And how do you help them overcome the skepticism or the initial hesitation?
I've had a lot of people that would say to me, I don't have time. That's,
Mm,
I think, one of the biggest one, or I'm not sure it's going to work on me.
right.
And it's always interesting to see, where people are coming from, or I know it works for everyone, but for me, it doesn't work. And so for me, it's like, first of all, listening to the person and asking them also, why do you think for you specifically it's not going to work? And through those
Mhm.
questions, already you can hear the person starting to have aha moments, of like, wait, I might not be as into a dead end as I thought I was. And
Right.
then from that, connection, soul to soul, basically, I ask them, what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with a minute a week? And then usually you're going to have like, come on, I do have a minute in my week. Oh, okay, so we're getting somewhere. We went from I don't have
Yes,
time at all to I can allocate a minute a week. And from
yes.
there, we actually, can build ourselves back up together to
Mhm.
create a situation that works with them. My goal is not for them to do a list of things that is adding to the energy of feeling overwhelmed, but really
Right.
saying, how often are you on your phone looking at TikTok, looking at Instagram, and wasting 30 minutes or 15 or 10? Take a little bit of that time. And even if it's just 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and just start with that. And I don't try to overwhelm my students by giving them 15 exercise. I usually give them one or two, and that's it.
Okay. That's absolutely awesome. Now, in your experience, how does practicing mindfulness and self-awareness impact both professional success and personal fulfillment?
Well, we live in I was just talking about social media. We live in such a fast paced world. Everything goes
Mhm.
fast. It's the first time in the history of humankind that we're going so fast, and we are expecting things to arrive fast. We're expecting our
Yeah.
food to be delivered in 15 minutes. We're expecting our car to show up, to travel so many miles in such so we're used to things getting faster, and we are forgetting that it's not natural to us.
Mhm.
So we are always trained, and especially with social media now asking us always for an immediate reaction and to
Yes.
go fast. We are not taught, we're no longer educating ourselves in our society to pause, take a
Mm.
deep breath, and feel why are you feeling this emotion right now. When somebody press a button, we're trained to immediately respond like it was the only way to respond. Mindfulness is a powerful tool, because before we react, we pause, we breathe in, like, oh, I am
Mhm.
getting annoyed. Interesting. Okay, it's okay. And and at work, it's even more powerful because you can take that extra couple of seconds to say, wait, I am going to respond this, but it allows you to gain that perspective that sometimes is so needed, so you can
Yes.
make better decisions and not make decision based on your immediate emotion, but
Yeah.
based on something higher.
Oh, I love that. Now, what future goals or visions do you have for expanding your work in the wellness space? And how do you hope to impact more lives globally?
Oh, thank you for that question. So many ways. It's funny once you start to really listen to yourself and open yourself to what the universe has in store for you that is aligned with yourself. A lot of things can quickly start to happen. And so we just finished our professional music studio here where I live in Oregon,
Okay.
and we created an Atmos technology, which is basically 3D music, very
Oh,
good in the world of VR reality and things like this. So our goal with my husband is to really develop new content created for more virtual world, because I think that the more we're going in time, the more we're going into a virtual world. We're not going back. So I think it's important for me to make sure that even in the most virtual environment, we can find peace.
yes.
So that is very something that I'm passionate about. I'm looking forward to create all of these new modalities in a 3D, and virtual environment, and also continue to do the work that I've been doing. I'm, creating new right now. For instance, I have this 10-minute a day challenge starting on October 15th, where every day we're going to do nothing more than 10 minutes of different practices so that people really can feel all of those experience all of those modalities, feel how they make them feel, and then hopefully by the end of the month they have acquired so many different tools that they can continue their wellness practices. And my ultimate goal is to help enough people that we start to create a ripple effect of positive energy around the world. I always like to finish my sound bath by saying, you are the one that brought yourself to this state of peace. I was
Mhm.
nothing but a guide. I don't hold any power over you. You did it. So next time you feel overwhelmed, tune back to this moment of deep peace. Remind yourself that it's up for you to grab. We're in the season of harvest, so it's kind of like the apples are all over the tree, ready for you to pick. If you don't pick them, the apples will stay on the tree. But if you do want it, it's right here for you. And it's the same in that situation.
Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming online today and gracing us with your amazing story. It
Thank you
always
so much
excites
for
me
having
when I
me.
find creative women who are working in these spaces that bring holistic health, and mindfulness is one of those things that we are all needing for our mental health. Thank you for your work. I look forward to staying connected to you.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
And thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is a social impact movement. We bring you the stories and voices of women from all over the world to uplift you, energize you, and inspire you. But most importantly, to empower you with tools and skills to take you from where you are now to where you want to go. So tune in again tomorrow when I bring you yet another amazing speaker. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. Thanks again.